Have you ever looked at a recipe that calls for 5-spice powder and wondered what exactly is inside that mysterious little blend? It sounds simple enough, just 5 spices, right? But once you open a jar and smell it, things get interesting fast. It's sweet, warm, spicy, earthy, and somehow even slightly medicinal all at the same time. One second it smells like roasted meat. The next it reminds you of licorice or even holiday desserts. And despite the name, some versions don't even contain exactly 5 ingredients. Today we're taking a closer look at one of the most famous spice blends in Asian cooking, Chinese 5-spice powder. What is it made of? Why were these particular spices chosen? And how did this powerful little mixture become such an important part of cooking across China and beyond? Right here on History of Simple Things. Chinese 5-spice powder has roots that go back hundreds, possibly even thousands of years. Historians believe the blend was inspired by traditional Chinese ideas about balancing flavors and elements. Ancient Chinese cuisine often aimed to create harmony between the 5 major tastes: sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami. Some food historians also connect the blend to the traditional philosophy of the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Unlike many spice mixes that were designed purely for flavor, 5-spice powder was partly about balance. Chinese cooks believed food should create harmony in both taste and the body itself. Over time, different regions in China developed their own versions depending on what spices were locally available. That's why there is no single official recipe. However, a few ingredients appear so often that they are considered the classic foundation of the blend. If there's one spice that dominates 5-spice powder, it's probably star anise. This dark brown, star-shaped pod has an intensely sweet, licorice-like aroma that people usually notice immediately. Star anise originally came from southern China and northern Vietnam, and it became popular not only for cooking, but also for traditional medicine. It contains a compound called anethole, which is also found in anise seeds and fennel. That's why all 3 have similar flavors. In 5-spice powder, star anise provides sweetness and a strong aromatic backbone. It's the reason many 5-spice blends instantly remind people of Chinese roasted duck, braised pork, or even certain soups and broths. Without star anise, the blend would lose much of its signature identity. One of the most unusual ingredients in 5-spice powder is Sichuan peppercorn. Despite the name, it's not actually related to black pepper at all. It comes from the husks of berries from plants in the citrus family. And this spice does something strange. It creates a tingling, numbing sensation in your mouth. That effect comes from natural compounds called hydroxy-alpha-sanchool molecules, which interact with nerve endings in the lips and tongue. Instead of pure heat like chili peppers, Sichuan pepper creates what many people describe as a buzzing or electric feeling. Flavor-wise, it adds citrusy, woody, and slightly floral notes. It also balances the sweetness of star anise and cinnamon, preventing the blend from tasting too dessert-like. This ingredient is especially associated with Sichuan cuisine, famous for bold and spicy foods. Another key ingredient is Chinese cinnamon, usually cassia cinnamon rather than the softer Ceylon cinnamon commonly found in Western desserts. Cassia cinnamon has a stronger, sharper, and more intense flavor. It brings warmth and sweetness while also adding depth to meats and stews. Interestingly, cinnamon was once considered so valuable that it traveled ancient trade routes alongside silk, tea, and precious spices. In Chinese cooking, It became important in braising, liquids, marinades, and spice blends like five-spice powder. Its warm aroma helps connect all the other flavors together. Cloves may be small, but they are incredibly potent. In fact, adding too much can easily overpower the entire blend. These dried flower buds originally came from Indonesia's Maluku Islands, once known as the famous Spice Islands. For centuries, cloves were among the most expensive spices in the world. They contain large amounts of eugenol, an aromatic oil also used in some dental products because of its slightly numbing effect. In five-spice powder, cloves add bitterness, sweetness, and a deep medicinal warmth that gives the blend complexity. Even a tiny amount changes the overall character dramatically. The fifth classic ingredient is fennel seed. Like star anise, fennel has a mild licorice flavor because it also contains anethol. But fennel is softer, greener, and more herbal tasting. It smooths out the sharper edges of the stronger spices and adds freshness to the blend. Fennel has been used in cooking for thousands of years across Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. In Chinese cuisine, it often appears in braised dishes and spice mixtures because it pairs especially well with fatty meats like pork and duck. When combined with the other spices, fennel helps create that famous balanced flavor five-spice powder is known for. Here's the funny part. Many five-spice powders contain more than 5 ingredients. Depending on the region or manufacturer, you might also find ginger, nutmeg, turmeric, white pepper, cardamom, or dried orange peel mixed in. Some blends lean sweeter, while others are more peppery or savory. The 5 in the name is often more symbolic than literal. It refers more to the balance of flavors than to a strict ingredient count. That's why 2 jars of five-spice powder can taste surprisingly different from each other. Five-spice powder may look like an ordinary seasoning blend, but it's actually a carefully balanced combination of history, philosophy, chemistry, and flavor. Every ingredient plays a specific role, from the sweetness of star anise to the tingling citrus notes of Sichuan peppercorns. And once you understand what's inside it, that mysterious aroma suddenly starts to make sense. It's not just one flavor. It's several completely different spices working together at the same time. That's exactly why five-spice powder has survived for centuries and continues to appear in kitchens all around the world. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.